wrong. Now let me just share some information about you personally. This is true about you, it's true about me, it's true about everybody. There's two aspects to us. There's a human aspect and there's a spiritual aspect. The human aspect is that physical part that we can see. It's our senses. It allows us to move through the physical world. The spiritual part of us is that deeper part. It's that eternal part. It's that deep, sacred wisdom within us. When we're born into this world, as soon as we're able to kind of perceive what's going on around us, we begin to record activity. We record whatever is said to us. We record what other feelings are impressed upon us. We record the activity of our life, and we take it all in as if it's the truth, because as a child, we simply don't know any different. We can be told anything at that age, and we just say that is the truth. We take it in, and that becomes part of our belief system. If you were raised in a negative environment and people are always saying negative things about you, then that's in your belief system, and you think that you have some sort of a fault or a default of some part that doesn't allow you to go out in life and be successful or have a pleasant life. So we do this up until the time we're about 6 or 7 years old. So you got all this information that's come in, we put it in a nice little package, and that package then becomes our own personal theory of relativity. And what that means is that is our theory of how we relate to everything in the world. And from that point forward, unless we have a real aha moment or we make a direct attempt to change our belief system or our theory of how we relate to things, we'll continue to use that through the rest of our lives. Now then, if there's something in our own unique, personal, individual theory of relativity that is wrong, that means that we perceive the world in a way where we twist and turn things, we mold and mangle things to fit into it, to fit the wrongness. And that's where it comes in, I am not good enough. If that is your belief, you will twist everything that comes into your way to fit that I am not good enough. If you think that you do not have what it takes to live a good life, then everything that happens around you will be twisted and turned to fit into that I can't live a good life. You will find evidence or make up evidence that supports what you believe. And we depend so much on this theory of relativity that you come to a conclusion about something, your reaction to something is set before you even move into the activity. It's just like the neutrino arrives at the destination before it leaves the place where it started. You go out of here today, you can move into a situation and a circumstance, and your conclusion as to how you're going to respond to that, how you're going to relate to that, is already set. Because we don't take the time to stop and think, now what does this mean to me? We just fall back on our theory of how we relate to things. It pops out the answer immediately. That's where tempers come from, that's where anger comes from, that's where jealousy comes from, that's where all those little things that hurt us so much come from. And that is our human voice. We have two sources of direction. That is our human voice. It's everything we've learned up to this point in time that we think is true. We call that the willful voice because it wills everything to fit or to conform to its belief. Now then there's a spiritual side of us, and that's another voice and another source of direction. And where the willful voice is oftentimes obstinate, it doesn't like to think that it is wrong, it doesn't like thinking it doesn't know. It's sometimes very boisterous, it's belligerent, it's obstinate, it can be very cruel, it can cast all sorts of harsh judgments on you and other people. It is like an immature being that is angry because everything is a threat to it because of what it believes. The other voice of direction is the wise voice, and that is the spiritual voice. It is the voice of the soul. It is based on wisdom from the ages. It is eternal. It was there before we took on this human form, and it'll be there after we lay down this human form. It is not of this world. It's a deep, intuitive sense that knows what is best for us. So when we're moving through life and we run into some situation or circumstance where we get very angry or we feel bad about ourselves because we didn't live up to what was expected of us, or we think that our wants can't be filled, our desires can't be realized, or our values that are absent from our life can't be returned, all we have to do is turn inward and we will receive the guidance of the wise voice. It is always there. Now the problem is, it is a whisper. It is a very soft and gentle whisper. And the willful voice is very loud and demanding. So it oftentimes drowns out that inner voice. Now we're going to talk more about this next week. Because it's that willful voice, and you all know it. It's that willful voice that says to the alcoholic, come on, one drink won't hurt. It's that willful voice that says to the person trying to lose weight, you can have a scoop of ice cream. It's that willful voice says to someone that's a little bit fearful, a little bit hesitating about moving into a new area it's not secure with, that says, step back. Don't go there. You're only going to make a fool of yourself. You can't do that. It is based on false information, much of it false information we've gathered along the way. And now it's time for the wise voice to step forward and take the willful voice, which is like a very immature little child, and say, let's kind of grow a little bit. Let's grow beyond this. And let's learn how to work with life and receive all the bounties of life. How to do that exactly will come next week. But believe me, that voice is within you. Between now and then, I ask only one thing of you. As you go through your life, take time to stop and think, who am I listening to? In any given moment, who am I listening to? Who am I listening to? We'll now move into meditation.